The median home price in the US today is $436,800. Can you afford it? Well, I'm going to show you this week whether or not you can afford it. I'm going to break down for you what that monthly payment looks like based on today's interest rates. I'm also going to go over with you what the monthly budget looks like when you're living in a home that costs $436,800, like what those monthly expenses are going to be on top of your mortgage payment, to give you a realistic view of what it's going to take to actually own a home and what you're going to need in order to live comfortably in that home. So this is a good one, guys, and you should really appreciate the fact that as much as I hate math, I'm terrible at math.
Numbers, the most boring of all the shapes.
I broke out my math skills just for you guys so I can get this out to you. So you're welcome. Let's get started. Affordability is a huge concern in the United States today. We talk about this all the time on my live streams or weekly here on my weekly videos. And I had to do it. I thought I would explain to you what that number actually looks like. So the median home price in this country right now is at $436,800. I thought that was a good number to use to show you exactly what it's going to take to be able to afford that. And again, the key thing, live comfortably and not be house poor, because that's unfortunately a thing that a lot of people get into. They want to buy the house, but they don't take into account all of the other expenses that go along with living in a home, and they end up house poor. So I hope these examples help you out today. And yes, hold on to your hats. You're going to be a little shocked when you see the end result, but let's get into it now. Let's start with the mortgage payment. Your mortgage payment consists of your principal, interest, property taxes, homeowners insurance. In this example, I'm also adding in private mortgage insurance, or PMI. PMI is tacked onto your monthly payment when you're putting less than 20% down. Now, the reason I'm adding this in here is because most people can't afford to put 20% down. So in this example for this mortgage payment, I'm using 5% down because that's pretty much the most a lot of people can put down anyway. So at 5% down, you will have a PMI. In most cases, home buyers are going to get a fixed rate mortgage. So your principal and interest are going to remain the same amount for the entire life of the loan. Your private mortgage insurance will also remain the same. Your property taxes, your homeowners insurance, those numbers will probably increase, more than likely increase. So you got to take that into an account when you're calculating your budget. So I just want to put that out there. Now, the private mortgage insurance, it will stay on the loan until that loan balance reaches 78% of the purchase price. Or if you want to equate it to a time frame, expect to have that PMI on your loan for about 15 years, maybe about half of the loan, half of the life of the loan. Now, you could make extra payments each month towards a principal to help shorten that time frame to get rid of that PMI. That is always a possibility. But just so you know, it takes about 15 years for that PMI to go away. For the homeowners insurance in this example, I'm using $1,500 a year. If you're looking to buy in states such as Florida and California, we all know they're in a hot mess with the insurance companies, and those insurance rates are skyrocketing. So again, this number I'm using for educational purposes only. If you are looking to buy a house in either of those states or where insurance rates are, they're going through the roof, take that realistic number of what you'd be expected to pay in whichever state you're going to be living in. For property taxes, the number I'm using in this example is $2,690. That is the median property tax that homeowners pay in the U.S. Now, this is according to the U.S. Census Data Bureau. It could be more, like where we are here in Jersey, up in the Northeast, Jersey, New York, Connecticut. Some other states are probably way higher than that. And there are some states that you are going to pay about that amount, or maybe even less. The median property taxes, again, is $2,690, and that's across the whole United States. All right, so let's take a look at what the mortgage payment would be with all of these items I just listed. This is a mortgage calculator from the website bankrate.com. You can find mortgage calculators anywhere online. I'm sure you've all used them before, but in this example, I went to bankrate.com. So we have a home price of $436,800. The down payment of 5% is $21,840. Your loan term is 30 years. The interest rate is today's rate of 7.18%. So if you go over here to the monthly payment breakdown, you have $2,811. That's just your principal and interest. Your property taxes, again, $2,690 per year. It breaks down to $224 a month. Your homeowners insurance at $1,500 a year breaks down to $125 a month. Your PMI, I put here $75 per month. Now, your PMI, keep in mind, it could be higher, could be lower. That number does get affected by your credit. If your credit's not so stellar, that PMI could be a little bit higher. If you're putting a little bit more than 5% down, that could bring that PMI number down. But for this example, I'm using $75 a month. So your total mortgage payment is $3,235 per month. And again, remember, I am just using these numbers for educational purposes only. I'm not a mortgage lender. I'm not a financial advisor. If you want more specific details regarding your own financial situation, I highly suggest you speak with a local mortgage lender or even a financial advisor to really get a full understanding as to what you would actually be paying each month. Again, this is educational purposes only. Now let's move on to the monthly budget. For this example, I'm using the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income is to cover your housing, right? It's going to cover your food, utilities, your loan payment, your mortgage payment, and your transportation. 30% of your income is going to cover like the extras, say your monthly streaming subscriptions, your cell phone, your internet, if you're going to go out, out to eat, and any extra entertainment you like to partake in, that is going to fall in that number of 30%. 20% goes towards your savings and any debt you have. So if you have any credit card debt, student loans, 20% of your monthly income is going to cover the savings and the debt. A little side note here, and I'm going to get into this in a little more detail. We want to keep that mortgage payment under 30% of your monthly income in order to not be house poor and to live comfortably. So keep that in the back of your mind right now. I'm going to go into that in just a little bit, but let's take a look at this budget. Okay, so here we have our budget. So we have up here is the mortgage of $3,235, utilities I put in about $250. Again, depending on where you live, it could be higher, it could be lower. Car payment, about $400 a month. Your gas, $250. Groceries, I threw in $600 a month. Yeah, I know it could be more where you are. Again, it depends on how large your family is, but I used about $600. And insurance, car insurance, $300 a month. 30% of the extras. We have here your cell phone, internet, dining, streaming subscriptions. I put 2 here. Some people may have more, like my household. I think we have like 4 streaming subscriptions. Like, why? Why are we doing that? And for entertainment, I put $200 a month. 20%, just for the sake of this budget, I threw down $100 a month towards credit card, $300 towards student loan. And I left the emergency fund and savings blank. Little note on an emergency fund. You really need to have an emergency fund set up when you're owning a home. Rule of thumb is you should have about 3 months' salary in your emergency fund. And the emergency fund is there to pay for any emergency expenses. Say if the water heater goes, if you need a new dishwasher, even if you have a car problem, the car breaks down. That's the purpose of the emergency fund. You always want to keep 3 months of salary sitting in that bank account, and God forbid something goes wrong. So when you add all of this up, now this without having any savings or emergency fund, your monthly expense is $6,215 per month. Yes, it is. That's the reality, folks. So per year, you're looking at $74,580. That's what you need to be taking home on an annual basis just to make this monthly expense payment of $6,215. I know. It's a little scary, but let's break this down a little bit more. As I mentioned, you want to keep that mortgage payment under 30% of your monthly income. And this is just for the purpose of not being house poor. If you want to live comfortably, you want to have something in your savings, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to be taking home. So let's break it down to determine how much of an annual income that you need in order to live comfortably. We're going to take that mortgage payment of $3,235 and we're going to divide that by 0.30, okay? The magic number of 30%. So from there, we get this number of $10,783. That's the total you need to be bringing home each month in order to live comfortably, in order to have a savings at the end of the month and to be able to pay off any debt and to have that emergency fund. $10,783 a month. You're probably all freaking out right now, but again, this is just an example I'm giving you, and I'm just teaching you how to calculate your own financial situation. So you may be taking in less than that, and that's okay, which means you're going to have to buy a much cheaper house. So let's go on here. How much of an annual gross income do you need? Hold on to your hats. So that number of 10,783 is your net. We need to calculate the gross income. To get your gross pay, we're going to take that number and we're going to divide that by 0.75 because your net pay is about 75% of your gross pay. You with me? That number per month, your gross pay would be $14,377, which equates to $172,533 a year. That is the gross salary you would need on an annual basis in order to live comfortably in a home price of $436,800. There, I said it. I know it's scary. It's very scary. And believe it or not, there are a lot of people that are buying $400,000 homes that are not making anywhere near this salary, and they're just making it. They're just making it. And it's a little scary. But I want to give you this example so you are not house poor. So you're able to have some money at the end of the day that you can put in the bank and be able to cover your repairs. God forbid something happens. That's where this number comes in. This is what you need to make in order to live comfortably. If you're looking at a home that's cheaper than this because you make way less money than this, use these guidelines to figure that out. I really hope that this helps you out. It gives you a sense of what you really need, and it'll actually make you feel better once you see the whole picture of this and what the reality is of what it's going to cost to actually live in a home. I know you're all going to be cursing at me right now, seeing these numbers and freaking out. Do not freak out. Again, this is for educational purposes only, and this gives you a guideline. Everybody's financial situation is different. Hey, if you want to know where the most affordable places are to live in the United States, you got to check this out over here because, if that number's freaking you out and you want to find a cheaper place, check this video out. Thank you so much for watching me today. My name is Jackie Baker, and I will see you next time.